when
just
Mac
like
Jones can run 70 yards and then Gritty in the end zone, you know something's wrong. Right?
Dude, scraping into the playoffs.
Yeah.
You might as well just call that the Schmigley Jones parlay. Those
Dude,
are astronomical.
Convention's terrible. Kenny Galladay's good.
Oh.
Man, if the Giants win one playoff game, I'm going to be so hyped.
What's up, everybody? It's Jared, the one and only host for tonight's pod. JB, Rod, as some call me. Yeah, Evan was a little busy tonight, couldn't make it. Sometimes we'll have a guest come on in that instance. Tonight I'm doing it solo. And after my day of work today, I'm good doing it solo. Ever have one of those days where you have just a super, super frustrating day, and then you just don't want to talk to anybody? That's where we're at. My head looks enormous with this hat on right now. Just flip that around backwards. That looks better. But yeah, I mean, pretty good week of football last week. Week 13 started off with a bang with Cowboys Seahawks. We'll get into that later. There was a lot of ugly football on Sunday, unfortunately, and some more injuries that everyone hates to see, but seem to happen a lot this year. Just some housekeeping to get things started off. The DPRM TNF SGP hit last week. Seahawks plus 17.5. And Jason Myers over 1.5 extra points made. Like the easiest cash of all time. Pretty sweet to get back on the winning there. And if you've been with us the whole season, you'd know that we're due for 2 more wins in a row on those, and then we'll inevitably have 3 losses to finish out the season. Because we've gone 3 wins, 3 losses, 3 wins, 3 losses. Now we're back on our 3 wins, hopefully. What else from last week? Evan's money line parlay hit. It was like plus 800. It was crazy. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's his pick from this week. Let me look at the ones from last week. Yes, he hit his parlay and his player prop. And then I hit the Bryce Young passing props. I hit the I did not hit Brandon Ayuk because Debo took all the receiving yards. Kyron Williams rushing yards hit, and Taysom Hill anytime touchdown hit, which was pretty sweet. But yeah, I think that's all the housekeeping we have to get through. We'll get into the games. Seahawks Cowboys, like I said, started off with a bang. I was in Charlotte for a work conference that I was speaking at, and we were having a little get-together soiree at a bar out there, which was super fun until I realized that the bar didn't have Prime, which is just awful. I had to put it on my phone, and it was funny. My boss didn't start DK Metcalf, and like the first drive, he had like a 70-yard touchdown, and he was like, "Oh, that's awful," but at least he's not going to put up like 40. And then he went on to put up 6 for like 130 and 3 touchdowns. So that was pretty funny to see my boss a little tipsy and kind of freaking out about his fantasy team. What else from this game? Seahawks hung around. Cowboys, they're very good. They're very good. The Cowboys defense didn't look very good though, which, I mean, the Seahawks offense is not awful, but at the same time, it's not like some kind of world-beating offense either, especially with Ken Walker out. So But yeah, I think the Seahawks could be happy about that loss, even though it was a loss, especially because everybody in the NFC playoff picture just wants to lose apparently, because we've got two teams that are 500 in the 6 and the 7 seed for the NFC. So that'll be interesting going down the stretch. Moving right along, Dolphins Commanders. We're gonna go through this quick. It was a blowout. Who did I tell? I told my coworker. He asked about the game, and I was like, "Yeah, not feeling good about it." He's like, "Yeah, Tyreek's kind of a beast this year." I'm like, "Yep." And also, our secondary is horrible. He's like, "So deep shots." I was like, "Yeah, I would bet that Tyreek would have like a 50-yard touchdown." And sure enough, he had two. He had two 50-yard touchdowns because he's a freaking beast. Sam, he looked okay. He's got grit, which I like to see, but it's kind of hard to talk about how good, if Sam is good or not, when the play calling is bizarre and makes him throw almost every play. The offensive line is horrible, and he has no time. It's kind of tough. But the Dolphins look like very good, but also the Dolphins beat bad teams, so it's like, how good are they? Next game, Chargers Pats. Oh my word. Are you kidding me? Chargers 5.5-point favorites. They score 6 points on the day, and they cover the spread. That's insane. What a ridiculous game. Zappy sucks. I mean, I guess he wasn't terrible. 13 of 25, 140 passing yards. It's not great, I'll tell you that. Also, Austin Eckler is clearly either hurt or just super old because he can't do anything. I think he was their leading rusher with 18 rushing yards. That's awful. I found this Twitter account this past week that has been doing this weekly, I guess, but it's the first time that I saw it. And it was, did Austin Eckler outrush an Oral-B extra strength floss? And the floss, I guess, is like 43 yards of floss. So for the past like 4 weeks, he hasn't outrushed the floss, which is hilarious. That's a thing. And that's like all the guy posts is just whether Austin Eckler outrushed the floss or not. Pretty funny. Ramondre Stevenson had a pretty ugly injury. I saw he's doubtful for next week. I wouldn't be surprised if he just gets shut down for the year. Did not look good. But hey, maybe Zeke will carry the Patriots going down the stretch. Yeah, really ugly game. Next game, Cardinals Steelers. This game got delayed like 3 times. It started in the 1 o'clock window, and then it finished with the 4 o'clock games, or it finished a little bit before the 4 o'clock games did, but weird game. The Cardinals are much better with Kyler. I think the Cardinals should not be trying to win, though, because I feel like them with Marvin Harrison Jr. would be awesome. And I think if they keep winning, they might not be able to get him, which stinks. The Steelers, Kenny Pickett got hurt. Mitch Trubisky had to come in, but I feel like the game was already kind of out of hand by then. I think they just got beat by the Cardinals, which is not good for the Steelers and their outlook on this season. I think that's all for that game. Let's see. Oh, Trey McBride. I wanted to mention Trey McBride. I mean, James Conner had 2 touchdowns too, which is cool. Trey McBride, freaking beast. Definitely caught the first one. They say, nope, no catch after a really long review. And then the very next play, they come back, and he catches a touchdown again, which was so sick. And he's just like, how about that? How about them apples? He's been awesome down the stretch in fantasy, which I really love to see. What else from that game? Oh, Deontay Johnson having like the most extra celebration to a touchdown when you're down 21 points. Like, it was not good. There was like 4 minutes left. Just like, dude, grow up. Act like you've been there before. It's crazy. I mean, go celebrate, do whatever, but I don't know. Didn't feel like the best time to do that to me. But what do I know? I'm not in the NFL. Next game. Actually a fun game. Colts Titans. A lot of back and forth. It looked like Will Levis's first game out there again, where he was like slinging the rock around. Derrick Henry had a pretty good game. He had 2 touchdowns, and then he got hurt and had to leave the game, unfortunately. But yeah, it was super fun. Back and forth. I think it went into overtime 25-25, and the Titans kicked a field goal, and then Michael Pittman Jr. Scored the game winner in overtime, which is pretty sick. Gardner Minshew had a really good game. 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Pretty good completion percentage. Michael Pittman, 11 for 105 and a touchdown. Ooh. He's a free agent after this year, too. Just a heads up for everybody out there. If your team is in need, there's some decent young talent coming through. They'll probably tag him if they can't sign him, but who knows? Maybe they won't. Next game, Texans-Broncos. Fun game. 2 teams coming, kind of trying to claw their way back from slower starts. CJ's very good. He's very good. Russ had kind of an off game. He was kind of not as selective with his passes. I think he ended up having 3 picks, which I know not all of them are his fault, but still not awesome. Sutton had like a really long catch too. I think it was like, let me look it up. I think it was like 45 yards for like a touchdown. Pretty sick. But yeah, the Texans hold him off on that final drive. Pretty cool. I'm liking the Texans. 7-5. And if Trevor Lawrence is out for a little bit, Texans might come for the division, not just a wild card, which would be pretty crazy. Next game, Lions Saints. Taysom Hill anytime touchdown score. Cash. Lions got out to a huge lead. I think it was 21-0. And then Jimmy Graham scored a touchdown, and the Saints were like, is it 2015? What's going on? What is going on? And Kamara ended up having 2 touchdowns. Taysom had a touchdown. They clawed all the way back to, I think it was 24-21, which is kind of wild. And then I think it went to like 33-21, and then the Saints scored late and kind of got it back to 5 points, which I believe covered the spread. Let me check what the spread was. Detroit -4. It didn't cover the spread. But this was the game that Evan was a little worried about because that -4 didn't feel like enough. Ended up being enough. But yeah, any more and that might not have cashed. Yeah, I think the Lions are a good team. 9-3 kind of speaks for itself. I think there's really like 4 good teams in the NFC, and everybody else is kind of meh. But the Lions are definitely up there as one of those good teams. Sam Laporta continues to have a phenomenal year, so that's cool to watch too. All right, what's next? Falcons Jets. I'm going to talk about this for 15 seconds. All right, you ready? Jets started out with a safety. Then there was a couple meaningless field goals, and the freaking third-string tight end caught a touchdown pass for the Falcons. Sounds like an awful game, doesn't it? Yeah, agreed. Tim Boyle got cut after this game, though, so that's cool. Please start Zach Wilson. I know not everybody wants to see Zach. Zach's on a couple of my fantasy teams where I lost a lot of quarterbacks, so please start Zach Wilson. Please. I need it. Next game, Panthers-Bucks. Man, oh man. I was right. Fired Coach Bump. Panthers cover the spread at -5. Cover it at +3. Bryce had a decent game. He was kind of slinging the rock around. Mike Evans had a great game because he always does. Like 7 for 150 some and a touchdown. Like, when is he gonna get old? Like, I know he's getting there, but like he does not look like any different at all. Also, Rashad White's a beast. I love him. He's awesome. Chuba Hubbard had a good game. 104 yards and a touchdown. 2 touchdowns. That's pretty good. I thought he was going to be a beast coming out of Oklahoma State. I'm kind of shocked he isn't. I mean, I guess maybe he is. 2 touchdowns, 100 yards. That's pretty good. Next, let's go to America's Game of the Week with Greg Olson and what's his name? Oh, what's his name in that commercial? Lil Tay-Tay? No, what is it? I can't remember. I'll have to think about it. But yeah, I mean, this game started out back and forth. I think both teams were doing pretty well. I mean, I feel like the 49ers kind of got smacked in the mouth a little bit coming out. I think they weren't really ready. I don't know if they weren't ready, but it's like the away in Philly. It's kind of tough. Little baby KK. That's what it is. Greg Olson and little baby KK. But yeah, I think they got hit in the mouth a little bit right at the beginning. And credit to their defense holding the Eagles to 2 field goals. That was huge. Because then Ayuk scores and it's like, oh, okay. The whole first quarter didn't matter at all because we're winning. And then McCaffrey scored, and then I think at halftime it was 14-6. Yeah, 14-6. And then, man, Debo went off in the second half. He went off. Brock looks really good as well. Really good. 315 and 4 touchdowns. Wow. Eagles. Here's an interesting stat for the Eagles here. Could not run the ball. Couldn't do it. Their leading rusher, Jalen Hurts, 7 rushes, 20 yards. Not what you're looking for. Not what you're looking for. Debo only had 4 catches, but he had 2 touchdowns. And he had a rushing touchdown, too, I believe. Yeah, rushing touchdown as well. 3 touchdowns. Oh, he was going against me. It was awful. Awful. But yeah, I mean, I had fun watching this game. I know Evan probably had fun watching this game. I doubt the Eagles fans had very much fun watching this game. Next game, Rams-Browns. I didn't watch any of this game at all. But I do know what was happening in this game because I have Joe Flacco on my fantasy team. Whoa! Joe played freaking lights out for somebody that hasn't played in 3 years. He's a beast. 250 and 2 touchdowns and a pick. But that's okay. Played great. Matt Stafford had a great game. I mean, when the Rams offensive players are like healthy, they're very good. Very good. Like they hung 36 on like the best defense in the league. It's kind of wild. Kyron Williams, big time. You'll be hearing his name later. But yeah, great game for the Rams. I'm glad that the Rams are looking good too, because hopefully they'll beat the Commanders later this year, and the Commanders won't get some stupid late year win for no reason. Where's that take us? Sunday Night Football. Jordan Love. I think he's on a 3-game win streak. Let me check. 3-game win streak. Good for you. He looks really good right now. Really good right now. Outperforming Pat Mahomes. Not bad, dude. Not bad. Pacheco got ejected for a pretty lame left hook. Oh, I didn't even talk about friggin' Dom. Back to the Eagles game. Dre Greenlaw gets ejected for getting up in Dom's face. Why is the head of security for the Philadelphia Eagles pushing players on the sideline? That's insane. And I know Eagles fans will be like, that's his job. He's security. His job is not to protect from other players. That's not what the head of security does. Head of security should be watching everything but the game. Not the game. That's insane. I can't believe that. I think he'll probably not be allowed on the sidelines, or at least near the players for a decent amount after that. That was nuts. I like Dom, though. I know I said some pretty harsh things about Dom, but I like Dom. He seems like a cool guy. Got the big Italian crest on his shoulder. I like him. He's a Philly boy, but I don't know how he's in that position. Like, if he was a position coach, sure. He's not. He's head of security? Come on. Get out of here. Back to the Packers quick. Actually, I guess not back to the Packers. Back to the Packers game. The Chiefs, man. Oh, the officiating at the end of that game was awful. Awful. That MVS DPI not called, that was insane. He literally got tackled. I don't know how you don't call that. And then later, MVS is going backwards out of bounds, getting tackled, and they stop the clock. It was like 4 things in a row that were just terrible calls. Awful calls. They had like 50 minutes of good officiating, and then they were like, well, what are we doing? Flag, no flag. What's this yellow thing in my pants? Pretty ridiculous. But the Chiefs, I'm not going to say they got robbed. They kind of got robbed a little bit with those missed calls. And then that late hit on Pat Mahomes was ridiculous as well. So at least it went both ways. But, man, it was bad. That takes us to Monday night. What a sweet game. I needed, I had like 4 guys going, and I needed like 30 points. And it was coming down to the wire. And at one point, it didn't look like it was going to happen. And then ETN caught that late pass for like 20 yards, and that ended up tying up the game. And then the next Bengals drive, Rayshon Jenkins had a pretty sweet big hit tackle. That got me 2 points and the dub, which is sweet. And then I got way more points than I needed in overtime, but it is what it is, dog. What else from this game? Freaking Jake Browning looks sick. He looks so good. What was that about? They threw it down the field like 0. No throws were going downfield. Their whole I think it was first drive, maybe first 2 drives. And then the next drive they were like, all right, he's warmed up. We can start hucking the ball around. It's like, man, it looks like he's back at Washington. Like he was lighting it up. I think he had like 350 passing yards, yeah. And a touchdown. Mixon had a touchdown. Jamar Chase went off. That was cool. T. Higgins isn't even on the field half the time. What is that about? I don't know if they're just keeping extra protection to protect their backup quarterback, but T. Higgins got to be on the field. He's a beast. Christian Kirk tore his nutsack, I think. I'm not sure what that was about. 1 catch, 26 yards, and then as he's going to the ground, he grabs his nuts. That's awful. I saw something today that he might be missing 8 weeks. I don't know if it said what it was, but 8 weeks is a long time for a torn nutsack. Oh man, poor guy. I have him in fantasy. Not anymore. Evan Ingram had a good game too. That's cool to see. I was so in middle school and high school before I went to Penn State. I was actually a big Ole Miss fan for some reason. I don't know why. And Evan Ingram was one of my favorites at Ole Miss. He was a beast. I really wanted the Skins to draft him because that was at the end of Jordan Reed's time. It's like, Evan Ingram's like the same thing. Go get him. And then he went to the Giants and he couldn't catch anything. And I was like, thank God we didn't get him. But now he's looking good. So that's cool. This week, Evan went 11-2 against the spread. That's insane. 11-2. And I went 6-7. Ooh. And that takes our totals for the year. I'm at 193, and Evan is at 94 and 99. He has been coming back for weeks. I need to get my crap together and stop picking bad picks. That's what I need to do. I think that's it. Yep. So we'll go to Rod's rapid rankings. I'm not going to time myself because that feels a little bit stupid. So here we go. 32 Pats, 31 Panthers, 30 Commies, 29 Bears, 28 Giants, 27 Titans, 26 Bucks, 25 Jets, 24 Chargers, 23 Raiders, 22 Falcons, 21 Cardinals, 20 Saints, 19 Steelers, 18 Browns, 17 Rams, 16 Colts. Sorry, I'm having like a brain aneurysm right now. I can't even read. 15 Vikings, 14 Seahawks, 13 Broncos, 12 Texans, 11 Bengals, 10 Packers, 9 Bills, 8 Jags, 7 Chiefs, 6 Cowboys, 5 Lions, 4 Eagles, 3 Dolphins, 2 Ravens, 1 49ers. Welcome. Sorry for everybody. That took forever. I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of retarded. So, what about this do I want to talk about? Jags dropped a lot. So did the Eagles and the Chiefs. Cowboys climbed up 1 spot or 2 spots. I think 2 spots. Packers are up a ton. They're up like 6 spots. Pats, Commies, garbage near the bottom. Cardinals, huge jump up to like, I forget what I said, 21. That's pretty good. Vikings. Browns dropped. I'm sorry to do it, boys. I know nobody wants to see that, but the Browns, they had to drop. They had to. Nothing I could do about it. That takes us to our Moneymaker segment. Get right into it here. Evan sent me his, so I'm going to read them off. He's got a 4-leg parlay, bold, plus 807 odds. He's got Jags money line, bold, if Trevor Lawrence isn't playing. Ravens money line, Cowboys money line, and then Broncos plus 3. Not bad. Plus 807 odds. Those odds are huge. Then he's got Brandon Cooks over on receiving yards, and he has Stephon Diggs anytime touchdown score. Love that. My picks this week. Let me pull them up quick. As we said, I think we were like 7 of 8 as a podcast, or 8 of 9 as a podcast this past week. Pretty sweet. Things you love to see. Something else you love to see. Trey McBride. Oh, sorry everybody on the YouTube. You didn't really get to see that. Trey McBride is a beast. So my player props are going to sound a little bit familiar. First, just a straight up, I'm taking the bye week to beat the Commanders by 6.5. I think that's pretty obvious. I mean, they can't put it together. Next, I've got Geno Smith over 230 passing against the 49ers. I think that is I'm thinking he's going to go way over that. I mean, Jalen played good, and the Seahawks have been throwing it around like crazy since Kenneth got hurt. So I really like that one. And then these next two are going to sound a little bit familiar if you listened to last week. I'm going Kyren Williams over 66.5 rushing yards. Last week it was a little bit lower, but he hit it at like 80. So I'm doing it. Kyren Williams loves rushing against the AFC North, so I'm loving him against the Ravens. And then this one's going to sound familiar too. Brandon Ayuk over 65.5 receiving yards. I think he's going to do it against the Seahawks, who got lit up by the Cowboys in the passing game. So I really like those. Who did I have as my anytime? Who did I have as my anytime touchdown? Who did I? Who? I don't know if I picked one, if I'm being honest here. Oh, yes I did. Bijan Robinson going up against the Buccaneers. Give me Bijan Robinson to score anytime. And then that takes us to our DPRM TNF SGP. This game has a chance to be worse than the Chargers Patriots game, which is nuts, but it does. Steelers Patriots. This game could be finished 0-0. So I hope it doesn't, because that would ruin our parlay. But DPRM TNF SGP. We've got Steelers first half -2.5. And we have Steelers full game -2.5. Basically, this is an indictment of the Patriots offense, but I think the Steelers could kick a field goal and then win 3-0. But yeah, it's looking like it's going to be Trubisky, so this game's just going to be awful. But the Patriots offense is horrible. I don't know how they could not do anything against the Chargers and then come and figure it out against the Steelers defense. That's not happening. So I think we're good there. Plus, the trends say this one and next week's one are going to hit. So if you want to bet against fate, go for it. But it's hitting. It's going to hit. That takes us to our 2-minute drill. I'm gonna do a guess the player for you all. You can just let us know in the comments when you got it. Let me bring it up quick. As everybody knows, guess the player is a huge part of this podcast's history, and I wanted to give you all a shot at what we do every week. So I'm gonna read it out to you guys. This player played from 2008 to 2019. You can pause if you need to think. I'm just gonna kind of roll through this. So after each one, you guys can pause. I'll let you know when to pause. 2008 to 2019. Pause. All right, you're back. I'm gonna say that was incorrect. It might have been correct. I don't know, but I'm gonna say it was incorrect. This player played in the NFC. Pause. All right. This player played in the NFC East. Pause. Okay, you're back again. This player played for the Dallas Cowboys for the majority of his career. Pause. All right. This player played defense. That is incorrect. This player played a skill position on defense. That is incorrect. This player played corner for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to say defensive back, because he kind of moved around a little bit. That's incorrect. This player wore number 32. And he had big ears. That's incorrect. This player's name is Orlando Scandrick. Thank you for playing along with the 2-minute drill. Catch you next week. All right. That was fun. I hope you guys got it. Let us know in the comments when you got it. and how that went for you all. I hope it was enjoyable. It wasn't for me because I didn't get to guess jack. But yeah, let's get into next week's games. This pod's probably going to be a little bit quicker than usual because there's no one else is offering their opinions, unfortunately. It's just me. You only have me to listen to, so I'm going to kind of roll through these here and we'll get on out of here. First game, Patriots Steelers. Pittsburgh is favored by 6. I'm going to take the Steelers because I don't think the Patriots are capable of scoring. So that's what we're going to do there. Next game, we've got Bucks Falcons in Atlanta. Atlanta is favored by 2.5. I think I'm going to take the Bucks here. Falcons have been bad, man. They looked awful this last week. I'm taking Bijan to score, but I feel like the Bucks should be better than they are. Them and the Chargers, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Next week, I'm taking the bye week -6.5 over the Commanders. I'm just kidding. Next week is Indianapolis going to Cincinnati. And Indy's favored by 1 in Cincinnati. Did they not see Jake Browning play? Give me the Bengals. All day. All day. That was a new girl reference for you all. Next game, Jags Browns in Cleveland. Cleveland is favored by 3. Who's playing quarterback for either of these teams? I'm going to take Cleveland, but just because I think Trevor Lawrence probably has at least a high ankle sprain, and it probably won't be playing this week. Maybe he will. I don't think he will on a short week. It'll be tough. Next game, Texans heading to MetLife to face the Jets. Texans are 5.5-point favorites. Home dog. That means it'd be 8.5 in Houston. Wow. Just because they haven't announced Zach Wilson is starting, I'm gonna go Texans -5.5, just because Trevor Siemian is not good at football. Next game, we've got Rams-Ravens in Baltimore. Baltimore is favored by 7. I think I'm going to go Rams. They looked good, man. They looked good. I don't know if they'll win, but I think they can keep it to under 7. Plus, the Ravens love playing to their competition. So, next we've got Lions heading to Chi-Town to play the Bear guys. The Lions are 3-point favorites. Give me the Lions. That was a quick one. Next game, Panthers-Saints in New Orleans. Panthers looked a little bit better last week. Derek Carr might be hurt. Give me the Panthers, man. Saints are favored by 4.5. I'm going to take the Panthers. Feeling crazy. Little not hometown. Little where you live pride. Let's go. Next game, Vikings-Raiders in Vegas. Minnesota's favored by 3. Both teams coming off a bye. Justin Jefferson is probably back. Give me the Vikings. Next game, Seahawks-49ers. Huge spread. Huge. San Francisco is favored by 10.5. Whoa. 10.5 is massive. Yeah, I'm going to take the 49ers. I know it's massive. I know I have Geno's over for passing, but I don't know, man. I think I'm going to take the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks could easily lose this game by a touchdown. Next game, Bills-Chiefs. Let's go. I love this game. No matter how these teams are performing, this game is fun. Chiefs, it's in Arrowhead. Chiefs are favored by 2.5. I don't know who to pick. I think I'll take. Bills are coming off a bye. Chiefs are coming off a loss. Give me the Bills. I'm taking a lot of underdogs this week, guys. Not great. Next game, Broncos-Chargers. This one's weird. It's in LA. The Chargers are favored by 3. Give me the Broncos. Why are the Chargers favored? They just put up 6 points on the Patriots. Give me the Broncos. This is a weird one, though. This is probably one where Evan would take the Chargers because it feels weird. I'm going to take the Broncos because I don't care that it feels weird. The Broncos are the pick. Next game. Phillies heading to Dallas, to Jerry World, and Dallas is favored. Dallas is favored by 3.5. Holy cow. Goblin mode. I'm taking the freaking Cowboys. Let's go. And then, for no reason whatsoever, we have 2 Monday Night Football games. Why are we doing this? At the same time. They start at the same time? Who picked that? Gosh. Oh my word. They did it again. They freaking did it again, Evan. Back-to-back nights in MetLife. Somebody on that Packers-Giants field is going to die. Back-to-back nights in MetLife. I can't believe they do these workers like this so much. This is unbelievable. Sorry. That caught me off guard. Green Bay is 6.5 point favorites. Give me the Packers. I think they may run the table and end up at 12-6, which would be nuts, but they have as good a shot as any. Next game, Titans heading to Miami. Miami's favored by 13. And I'm going to take them, minus 13. Yikes. I think that's it. I think that's all we got for you guys. This, like I said, kind of a shorter pod because there's only one person offering their opinions on everything. But yeah, check back next week after the DPRMT and FSGP hits again. Ooh. And remember, everybody, there will be one more win on that after this week, and then 3 consecutive losses. So just get ready for that. Maybe don't put as much this week, so I don't know. But yeah, pod went 8 for 9 last week in picks. Let's do it again. All right. What's Evan say? He says, have a good day, have a good night. We'll see you guys.